for these validatory functions, sir. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. I just have a question. I think my conference will be like in an hour, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's perfect.
So we are just waiting for 2 more guests to join and we'll start.
Okay, I'm gonna be here, okay?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Yashwant sir. Meghna ma'am, Dr. Yashwant Panwar is there.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
Good, great. Sorry. For
No,
the,
sir. No, sir. It's completely fine, sir.
actually, I'm busy in other office.
Okay, sir. Meghna ma'am?
मैम आप म्यूट पे हो.
Good afternoon, Panwar sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thanks for joining the session.
No, it's my pleasure.
Sonali will start.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Hugo sir, we are starting.
I'm here.
Yeah. Fine. Very good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Sonali Bagde, on behalf of Dr. D.Y. Patil, Institute of Management and Research, would like to extend a warm welcome to today's guest of honor, Dr. Yashwant Dev Panwar, Mr. Hugo Tarasido Loriro, Honorable Dr. Somnath Patil sir, Dr. Meghna Villare, Dr. Vishal Vadeskar, and all the researchers to the valedictory function of 2 days international conference on Techno-Innovative Practices for Sustainable Business Resilience in association with Merck Global and esteemed international universities, AWS University and Galia Foundation, Indonesia. These 2 days of international conference has provided abundant learning experience through exceptional expert talk and inquisitive research ideas shared by researchers. Though we are towards the end of this conference, it would be a new start with new ideas and learnings. If we can pull together and generate renewed momentum in areas such as sustainable business development, resilience mechanism, and technological innovation, it would regenerate enthusiasm amongst the business across the globe. So let's promise that we would keep contributing to business and society through our research. Without taking your time, I would request our dynamic leader, Dr. Meghna Villare, Conference Chair and Director of Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Management and Research, to address this unique gathering. Meghna ma'am.
Thank you, Sonali. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, Dr. Panwar sir, Hugo sir, for this 2 days conference validatory function. I'm really grateful to both of you for accepting our invitation and being part of this 2 days conference. Sir, it has been a really knowledge-packed 2 days in presence of national and international speakers, and with the gracious presence of our Dean of Management and Commerce, Dr. Parag Kalkar sir, and eminent directors from our management institutes in our area, Pune University. And I'm really thankful to our Honorable Chairman, Dr. P.D. Patil sir, and Secretary, Dr. Somnath Patil sir, for continuous guiding and supporting us for this conference. I would really like to appreciate efforts put in by Team DYPIMR, as it's all the hard work that has made this conference a great success, and each and everyone has contributed in the best possible manner. And I'm sure that even the participants would have a lot of enriched knowledge in this conference, as there were 100+ participants and papers were presented by the academicians, researchers, and industrialists. So the knowledge sharing what has been there in these 2 days would have definitely lead to some concrete solutions for business resilience post-COVID, and no doubt academic has a lot of resilience. In academics, a lot of resilience has been visible, but the businesses are yet to revive, and these 2 days deliberation should definitely lead to some fruitful solutions. And we look forward now for the expert opinion from the speakers for the validatory session. I'm sure that your insights will be a lot of helpful to our participants. Thank you once again, and really thanks for being with us, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thank you for your insightful thoughts. Now, it is my privilege to introduce today's guest of honor, Dr. Yashwant Dev Panwar. Dr. Yashwant is PhD from IIT Delhi in Management of Intellectual Property Rights. He also holds MTech in Future Studies and Planning from Devi Ahilya University, Indore, and MSc Physics from MDS University, Ajmer, Rajasthan, with specialization in microwave electronics. He is presently scientist F&, heading Patent Facilitating Center of Technology, Information Forecasting and Assessment Council, New Delhi. He has been working for more than 23 years for PFC in different capacities. PFC has been facilitating filing of patent applications on behalf of academic institutions and government research and development institutes, creating awareness about IPR in different parts of the country, providing policy input, and also patent information to the government. He has also conducted number of trainings on IPR, patent searches, and other IPR and WTO issues. He contributed in evolving the important program of DST, WOSC, popularly known Kiran IPR at all stages. TIFAC received Nari Shakti Puraskar in 2015 for this program. He completed his internship on technology transfer at National Institute of Health, USA, and also completed training at EPO and JPO. His active areas of patent and IPR related research are standards and patents, forecasting future skills based on patent data, new foresight methodologies, based patent information, and AI and patents. Now, I would like to request Dr. Meghna Bilare ma'am to kindly felicitate Dr. Yashwant Panwardev sir. Now I would request Dr. Yashwant Panwar sir to kindly address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for detailed introduction and giving this opportunity to speak to researchers, particularly from the area of management, because having done PhD in management, I really understand and appreciate the value of management alongside the technology, how important it is. So there's a technology evolution, and alongside we have to evolve ourselves with managing challenges posed by technology and development of technology around the globe. So we always say every solution comes with new problems, and every problem has a solution. So we have to complete this cycle of a problem solving approach. We call it in management. So this problem solving approach, we have to complete this cycle. How long am I supposed to speak, Dr. Meghna?
Sir, you can take 15 to 20 minutes time, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I think this conference has been well conceived to address issues relating to managing particularly in this era of pandemic, when we are away from offline mode and on online campaign we are running for each of our activities. But somehow there is a desperation amongst all of us to meet physically and discuss things physically. And the real gain we may achieve if we are there physically, but such kind of conference which are relating to management and business issues, majority of deliverables can be really be done through this kind of online mode also. And we have been learning for last 1.5 years how we can really deliver things in online mode. So when we say management will have very many issues to address with related to business, with relating to entanglement of technologies with businesses, with this political situations, with the framework of international business. So many issues I firmly believe would have been addressed in this conference, with 100 different specialized research papers which have been published presented, and I firmly believe that all would have been of a very high standard. Though I have missed to be part of that discussion, and but seeing the enthusiasm with the participants still at the end of 2 days conference, they are available listening to us in quite a good number. More than 60, I can see on the list. But let us look at which are all issues which really business will face. See, there are disruptions because of a technology. There are disruptions in business processes because of digitalization, or the digital world posing different kind of challenges to the business, be it the local business or be it the global business. So there's a lot of effect of technology in all kind of businesses. So we have been doing business with certain practices, but those practices will not survive the technological evolution and development because business is being done differently. So all the theories and principles also has to undergo theories or the major modifications. Sorry, there was a break, I believe.
Yes, sir. There was some network issue. No.
Yeah. So we are on the track.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All are these technological issues you face knowingly and unknowingly. So there are techniques to manage all these glitches also with the different backups, and that's where in business we need to see. But this particular century, to the 21st century, the pace of innovation has increased to the next level. Pace of innovation has increased to the next level, and coming from patent and IPR field, we firmly believe that the product lines is going to be different in future. Our comfort related technology going to very different. The way we interact with people through online mode or offline mode, or using AR or VR or a virtual presence, etc. In another 10 years, it will be totally different. It will be totally different. So technology will put us on a different track. Already we are on a different track. See, we are handling finances, so international money transfer. Now we are talking about digital money transfer, and with cryptocurrency and a digital currency, how business is going to perform, how government are going to regulate the business. So all new aspects will come into fore. See, if you are doing business exchanging Bitcoins, so government taxes, how government going to manage and monitor the activities, how business activity is going to take place, how monetary things. So all those things will be handled very differently. And then the researchers who work on these areas, I believe that they should look at a future problems and try to come up with solutions for the future problems. And that would be a real contribution to the management people, contribution of management people to the industry and businesses. That would be real contribution. Anticipating those, perceiving future problems and providing some solution. So that is a real expectation from expert in the area of management like you. So that's what we expect from such conference and the forthcoming conferences on management. And that's how we should be able to address issues. So the finance is one area in a technology, but now talking of my own area of intellectual property, when we talk about intellectual property and patents, why copyright came into an existence? Because of a printing machines. So we could print books, we could print photographs, we could make multiple copies in a very short time. So that's where the need of a copyright was felt, that authors should really get a credit and some benefits out of his creative work should be shared with the creators. And that was the motive behind having copyright system. But that also was really pushed because of the technology evolution at that time, and technology was a printing press. You were able to print multiple copies of a literary, artistic, or any copyrightable work at that point of time. But we compare the such situation in modern evolving world. Now this concept you would have heard in technologies of 3D printing is getting widely popular. 3D printing is getting widely popular, and you will be able to print articles and things of your interest at your home using 3D printers. Now we talk about innovation and patents. When we talk about innovations and patents, we may have a patent on certain products, innovation in certain products, but we are able to enforce those patents at the moment because the production of those particular product happens in industry. And there is a complete chain which takes products from industry to individuals to their place of use. So the whole system is there, and it is easy to intercept and monitor any infringement of intellectual property rights in that particular cycle of a product from industry to individuals through a defined path and with the exchange of money and using very many business processes in between. So that is already there. But if you see this disruption of a technology using 3D printing, and you're able to print articles and things of your requirement at your home, how you enforce intellectual property rights. So intellectual property rights system itself also need to evolve itself as technological development. So if IP is one part of a management of a businesses which are technology oriented. So that's how we have to tune ourselves or develop our thinking process and come up with management theories, management formulas, and we have to evolve and develop all those things. Are you there all? Because
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So management is supposed to be integral part of evolving society. Management is supposed to be integral part of what is happening around ourselves, what is happening in the business cycles. But the role of technology is very crucial, and it is going to change the whole the way we are managing businesses, the way we are managing technologies, the way we are managing our life is going to change with the technology. And anybody who was thinking to do a business, let's say, for example, the petrol pump used to be considered as a very good business, stable business, and the continuous profit. But coming technology of electric vehicles, you have whole, and if we think that maybe by 2035 we are able to do away with IC engine assisted cars or mobility and totally move on. So those businesses will no longer exist. Businesses will no longer exist. And at the moment in the business research, we are mostly depending on think and thought process of a human mind. because by and large, the whole business process is controlled and managed, maybe using some computation work using computers, but mostly it's designed and handled with intellect of human beings or gifted people who are leading these businesses. Their mind controls the whole business, but the technologies like artificial intelligence coming into fore, So how this artificial intelligence will look into business issues and will come up with new business principles and the whole new world of doing business and management of technologies and other industry, and the way industry will exist in this particular form or not. So accordingly, our business research has to modify its own objectives and should be able to pick up new thread which leads to the real world, which is going to unfold in near future or in a long-term future. So we have to look at near future as well as a long-term future if our business research has to be relevant after maybe 2 year, 3 year down the line. It cannot be done on the way we have been doing businesses for past few years. It has to be futuristic, and that is the path for evolving ourselves in this particular area. So I believe that most of the research which have been presented in this conference would have been targeted towards the future solutions, and I think it would lead to a good publication. I think it reaches to masses and give new ideas to do further research in this. And my best wishes to all the participants for the future endeavor post this particular conference. And this conference would have given, I think, number of ideas to them to go and do new research. So I close here these short remarks, so we can go on and discuss, but I think time is a limitation and we have to manage the time. Being in a management, we have to do that. All the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your expertise and knowledge pertaining to IPR and its utilization for technology innovation that may lead to sustainable business resilience. And we assure you that this conference has definitely deliberated the new ideas into the research pertaining to business resilience and business development. So it was really an excellent session, sir. We thank you for sparing your valuable time. We look forward for having a rewarding association in future as well. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Right.
Now, it is my honor to introduce our guest of honor, Mr. Hugo Tarasido Loreno. Mr. Hugo is the founder and CEO of VT Sports Management. He is also a business professor at Universidad Carlos III de Madrid and Geneva Business School. He has been the international project manager at the Power MBA. He has worked as ad sales executive for the Walt Disney Company. He has been an ATP professional tennis player and alumnus of University of Texas, Arlington, USA. He has completed his master's in management as well as in industrial relations and employment from Universidad Carlos III de Madrid. Communication from Santa Clara University, USA. Mr. Hugo is a dynamic and energetic person with great teamwork skill. He is passionate about sports, sales, marketing, communication, and he admires people who believe in their values as a way to change the world. He says, do not believe something is impossible, just need to try. What a thought, sir. I would request Dr. Meghna Bilare to virtually felicitate Mr. Hugo.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on board here today. For me, it's a pleasure to be here with you, and I hope you enjoy this short
Yes, sir. Yes.
conference. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I just prepared a few slides because probably that will help us, to go through the concepts. Yeah, I think you mentioned I love sports, and that's true. And I think that's also helping with resilience at some point, making business, and also
Yes.
trying to go through all this COVID situation, all this COVID crisis that affects companies at the global level, and considering that we need to change some of our managerial ways and managerial ways of managing the company. So let's take a short and a brief talk about Techno-Innovative practice for sustainable business and resilience. Well, if anyone wants to contact me, here it's my email. Feel free to do it, and we'll be more than happy to answer or to help any of your requests. So, do you know the difference between business continuity and business resilience? I think there is a big difference, and all of us have realized that difference within the last year, probably, or the last 2 years, right? Why? Because one thing that we came up is like, well, I think we all have learned that nothing is certain, right? If we come back for December 2019 and we think about our lives on that period, well, the world was completely different, right? We have no barriers. We could travel all over the world. We can make business without any barrier, probably, but everything changed, right? Why? Because, well, life is not straight, and it's not an easy corridor alone, which we can go through without considering what's going on around there, right? And life is about finding ways, getting lost, get confused, and go through them. And that's business as well. That's what's happening to almost every company in the world for the last 14, 15 months along the way. And that's the way it is right now. And we need to solve that using managerial skills, using new business opportunities, leveraging the business opportunities we had in the past, and considering education as a way, as a tool to go through all this difficult situation we are facing right now. So let's talk about business continuity. Right? It's a big difference between continuity and resilience. So let's make it clear here. What if we talk about business continuity is the capability we have as an organization to continue our regular business delivery, either products, either services, but with predefined levels. Right? And I highlight the predefined levels sentence here because I think it's really important for us to understand, and I think we all did for the last months, that nothing is predefined right now. So we need to adapt ourselves really quick. We need to change our mind at some point really quick, and we need to restart our company, our managerial system, almost on a weekly basis so far. So if we think about business continuity, usually what we do from a company perspective is like, we take care of our business plan. We go really deep on our business plans. We make a deep analysis of the market, competitors. Then we do implement that business plan. We check if everything is going well, and then we act, right? That's it. I will say the typical managerial way we used to do 2 years ago. But what happened in 2020? This is extremely important, right? We all went through a extremely difficult new situation that affect businesses worldwide. A lot of companies in Europe, a lot of companies in the US, a lot of companies in India, UK, Russia they have the need to close their business, right? That's a extremely difficult situation from a managerial perspective, from a company perspective, but also from society perspective. But it is true that, well, we have some tools that can help and have helped us, to trying to keep most of the companies still alive. But what will happen if this COVID crisis have happened back in 1980, for example? I will suggest that it will affect much more than it did right now. Right? Why? Why it's different today than 30, 40 years ago? Because we are all connected. Thanks to technology, we are all connected, and companies in India, in Russia, in Singapore, Indonesia, Spain, they can make business worldwide. You can have employees across seas, and there is not a problem at all, because you can manage your company using technology. You can be more efficient. You can still be alive making business, right? So it's a huge difference that this happened right now in 2020s and did not happen 40 years ago, because that will be really hurt a lot, much more companies than it did right now. So it's great, and thanks, like, for the last probably 20 years, we have seen an extremely clear evolution, like using technology, allow every company almost to be connected at a global level, but also to make business opportunities at a global level. And this is extremely important, right? We have not that barriers anymore, not even cultural, not even a language barrier. We can make business at a global level, leveraging the using of technology. So those companies that have, I will say, like a more adaptable managerial system or managerial employees were able to adapt their business at a global level to manage the COVID crisis and still being alive. And that's a great example of business resilience, the ability they have as an organization to absorb and to adapt, in a really difficult and changing environment, to keep being enabled to deliver their goals, the products, their service, and in the end to survive. And those companies who did really well, and not only, I will say, deliver probably not the same, but quite the same number of services or products. There are some companies that they even change their business model as an opportunity to increase the market share, to find a new way to make business, to find new market opportunities. That's what business resilience is about. The ability we need to have from a managerial perspective to realize what's going on and to change and adapt what is needed for our company to keep making business, even local, global, it doesn't matter, to keep being operative on the market and to keep being alive on the market, which it's probably one of the most difficult things, especially today for startups. Usually 80% of the startups, they will fail within the first year. So it's extremely important that they consider their managerial way, their managerial employees, their managerial staff as a key element if they want to compete at a global level, and especially on a really competitive technology environment where companies can make business at a global level. So I think this picture is a really good example of resilience, right? Probably we can think this is extremely difficult to happen, but it happened. It changed, it get adapted to a new environment, and it's still alive. And that's why it's business resilience about, especially with this COVID crisis, those companies who manage to change, who manage to adapt themselves to the market conditions, to the environment conditions, to the cultural, to the social conditions, they are going through this crisis. They are coming from an extremely difficult experience, and some of them might be coming stronger. So, coming back to the point from a managerial perspective, what happens with just as a good example, right? Let me take you back for your childhood, probably, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And I think we all know Mickey Mouse. It's on the screen with us right now. I have the pleasure to work for the Walt Disney Company 4 or 5 years ago here in Madrid, in Spain. I can honestly tell you that when I was thinking about a great example of a company that have adapted themselves over the years again and again and again using technology, I think probably the Walt Disney Company is, for me, the best example, because we all might know they just make cartoons at the very beginning. That's true. But if we take a look at the company they are today, we can realize how important was business resilience for them to adapt themselves to every market change, to every market and environment change, thanks to the use of technology. And just to give you a final example of how important is this for companies that want to compete at a global level, probably you all know Netflix, right? When I was working at Disney in 2016, Disney did not have any streaming service platform that could compete with Netflix, with HBO, with all these Amazon Prime Video. But they have the assets, so they need to adapt themselves. And I think the key here was the CEO of the company, that he has the vision to adapt a business model previously working really well. The company was performing really well, but thanks to technology, they create an application. They were able to leverage all the content, all the media they produce for that application. Because in the end, and bear this in mind, this is extremely important. The most important thing for a company are the consumers. So companies need to be consumer-centric every single day, every single time, every single minute. What we need to know is what the consumer expects from us and try to bring that using technology, the best managerial practices, but always bearing in mind that our goal is for the consumer to be happy. We need to be in time. We need to be there whenever they need us. And I think the Walt Disney Company is probably the best example for me so far. Like using technology over the last years, they have evolved, they have developed, and they are much more than a cartoon company. So, well, that's all on my end. I hope you have enjoyed at least a little bit this short conference from my end, and it's been a pleasure to be here with you today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sure everybody has enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Hugo, for your insightful information and presentation. It has given a real understanding about business continuity and especially about how business can be resilient. So we look forward for a fruitful association in future with you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank
I will
you.
be more than happy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sparing your valuable time with us.
My pleasure.
So there is no real ending. It's just the place where you start a new things. On this note, I would like to request Dr. Tejashree Talla, conference convener, co-convener and HOD MBA department to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all. I deem it a great privilege to represent DYPIMR as I stand here today on behalf of all to thank all whose contributions has made the Institute proud, and also to thank all of you whose efforts have made this conference a truly grand success. This is the proudest day in the history of our institute. We have hosted the international conference in association with Merck Global and esteemed international universities such as AWS University and Gali Foundation, Indonesia. This conference is attended by 35 delegates and 140 participants from various colleges and universities across all streams of education, from science to technology to research. I, Dr. Tejasri Talla, place on record our deep sense of gratitude to Honorable Dr. P.D. Patil sir, Honorable Dr. Somnath Patil sir, for the faith reimposed in the DYPIMR team. We are really thankful to you for being with us. Your presence has added a grandeur to our function. We have been fortunate enough to be assisted by our Director, Dr. Meghna Bilare, Associate Director, Dr. Vishal Vadaskar, and Mrs. Manisha Pawar ma'am for the constant support and giving us a lot of encouragement. I also like to thank all the honorable delegates, Dr. Mithyana Indrasari, Dr. Mohit Gambir, Mr. Mohammad Gali, Dr. Parag Kalkar sir. I personally liked Mr. Kasif Hussein's speech when he mentioned how leaders have taken the opportunity in this pandemic situation. The way he explained the topic is exemplary. I also thank Professor Sardar Islam and Mr. David Perodin, who blessed us with their online presence. We got valuable inputs from this conference. Heartfelt thanks are due to Mr. Zakaria Elkweski, Dr. Yashwant Panwar, Mr. Hugo Tarasidu. I thank all distinguished delegates who have accepted our invitation and given generously of their time. Your participation as a session chair, I am sure, will add depth to the content and deliberation. Thank you for coming. I thank all plenary speakers, the delegates of their enthusiastic participation in this conference. I take this opportunity to thank all the reviewers and technical committee members for providing their valuable comments in the time and help towards the improvement of quality of papers presented in the conference. I express grateful thanks to Ms. Sonali Bagade and Dr. Rupali Kalekar, who wholeheartedly support has made this conference a reality. An event of this magnitude requires meticulous planning and execution and an eye for details. I have been extremely fortunate to be able to draw upon the willing support of my colleagues who has demonstrated initiative and involvement at every step and made the task easier. I acknowledge the unwavering support received from the HODs, the faculty members, and the staff members. I also like to thank our digital partners. My thanks also goes to all the people who have given their precious time in organizing this conference. I'm also thankful to all the research scholars who have greatly helped us in organizing this conference. On our part, we have also made sincere efforts to enhance the quality of the conference. In this regard, we have taken some new initiatives, such as this year, all the accepted papers will be sent for inclusion in UGC care listed journals and international journals, so that the researchers from the worldwide will be benefited from these papers. Shortly, we will communicate through mail. This year onwards, 2 awards have been introduced for the best papers presented in the conference. We have also introduced an industrial talk session for invited talks for industries. If time is the money, then today you have spent millions for us. Thank you all for your making this event a successful. Thank you all researchers for joining us this conference. Now, I request everyone to stand at their places for national anthem. Thank you all very much indeed. I request Sonali to move forward.
So at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Yashwant Panwar sir and Mr. Hugo for joining this valedictory function of this 2 days international conference. All the researchers for joining this conference. Dear researchers, feedback link is shared in chat box. Kindly give your feedback. So shall we conclude, Meghna ma'am?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Yashwant sir. Thank you, Mr. Hugo. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll get
My
in touch
pleasure.
with you
Sure,
for
sure,
further association. We would like to have you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the participants.